Fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A particularly dangerous flooding situation setting up today through Sunday. We could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain. Some folks could see up to 15. So showers will increase and intent will be in the 60s today. Showers and storms with very heavy downpours tonight. We drop into the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague launch fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and good morning. It was kind of a wild way to end the show yesterday. If you were with us at 1:54, about 1:55 p.m., Clay Henry was with us, features editor at Hogs Media, and he lives up by the Norfolk River, and of course we know the weather that was happening all around us yesterday, and I understand up in northwest Arkansas and in central Arkansas, a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, wind, no tornadoes though, but Clay Henry yesterday had to get off the show about 2 minutes before it ended because there was a tornado siren that was blowing not too far from where he lives, the tornado warning as well, and it was a wild way to end the show. It was kind of a scary day yesterday too. A lot of our folks in northern Arkansas and specifically eastern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas had kind of a rough one yesterday. I don't know if you saw the video, Matt, I don't know what EF scale it'll be listed at, but it looked like the largest tornado that I've seen, at least on video in Arkansas, out by Lake City. Really frightening looking yesterday. So I guess we just have to sit in it and deal with this rain for the next 2 or 3 days, and then I see we have a chance of snow Sunday night in Fayetteville. So I thought we were past all of that. Apparently we might not be.
Yeah, welcome to Northwest Arkansas. Hope everybody's safe. Beautiful day yesterday, and then it's kind of a little cloudy and gray skies out here, but it's still a pretty morning.
Saw yesterday, we kicked around the idea of whether or not Chris Beard will be the next basketball coach at Texas A&M. It looks like he's decided to stay at Ole Miss. Higher salary, more NIL dollars, and also, if you don't think you're going to fit in at A&M, it's a different place than anything else. That might have been a reason why he says no to them, or who knows. But I mean, maybe he was a fan of what he's got going there at Ole Miss because he had a good thing going. Why try to change that and start something up again over at A&M? Although, now that the way things go in college basketball, Matt, every year you feel like you got to rebuild your team. I don't necessarily know the makeup of who could stay and who could go at Ole Miss, but if you got something going in a place, it'd be a little difficult to just pick up and leave. It's just on an annual basis, just like we're talking about at Arkansas, and I have no idea who stays and who goes for this next basketball season. You could be completely remaking the roster. Truthfully, you could. Or you could end up with 4 or 5 returners. But it does feel like you very well may be reconstructing your roster for many basketball programs on an annual basis. It's just you don't really know who's coming or going right now. At least for the next few weeks. We got the news on Big Z and waiting for the next domino to drop, which I'm not quite sure what it's going to be.
If you hope these kids get good advice. Look at 3 kids out of the SEC got drafted in the first round last year, and I think 2 of them were Cal's guys. What are these kids doing now? Are they just sitting on the end of the bench? Should they have stayed in college and been playing? How much? You start asking all these questions. Are they ever going to be in a 7-man rotation? Did they get there a little too early? I think of Cardell Jones, that quarterback at Ohio State. He would have probably stayed for a year or two. He needed more reps. So, yeah, you wonder, you think DJ Wagner, Adu, and Boogie Flan are all going to be first-round picks? Absolutely not. So it's like some of them, you got to come back. You wonder who's giving these guys the advice.
Well, and then there's also, there's going to be, we talk about the thought of maybe a battle for playing time between one and the other, but I just wonder about these kids that Cal's got signed to come in and play. It's a different level of talent than you mostly had at Arkansas. Now, look, this is the same sort of player as you got from Moses Moody, coming in. At least that's what it feels like. And Moses didn't come here to Arkansas to sit very much. He came in to play. That's what Isaiah Sealy is coming to do. That's what Malik Thomas, Darius Acuff are coming to do. I'm not sure too much about Kareem Artale, and again, how to pronounce his name. And it would be the same with Nate Ament. But these are kids that are either playing in the McDonald's All-America game, they're top 50 players nationally, and they're going where they're going to play. And appreciating the thought that you have veterans on this team right now. Now, look, Carter Knox is going to play. There's no doubt about that here. Billy Richmond will play if they decide to come back to Arkansas and be Razorbacks. It's kind of where I wonder about where DJ Wagner fits in, understanding the idea that he's a main reason that you even made it to the Sweet 16 is just one year to the next. I don't know if you can count on the same kind of minutes with some of the other players that are coming in. I know he could be a really important piece to a Sweet 16, an Elite 8 team. You can't tell me this was not a team good enough to make the Elite 8, at least for 35 minutes or so against Texas Tech. And he could help lead you to the same place or maybe better next year. It's just there's guys that are coming in behind him that they're coming in to get minutes too. And I know DJ wants his minutes as well. I just wonder if it's going to be at Arkansas.
Man, I'd love to see these kids play. I think you look across the college landscape and how many freshmen are actually out there playing. These 4 freshmen aren't going to come. No, I don't think any one of these 4 freshmen are better than DJ Wagner next year as a basketball player. That doesn't mean that they couldn't be a better professional in 5 years or 7 years. But there's something to be said about a college. I don't think any of these freshmen would be better than Carter Knox. So you start talking about a freshman coming in to take these guys playing time that have been through college off seasons. They've been through the grind. I think we should hold up a little bit. I don't think it's going to be this freshman team in the SEC. You're going to be in 9th place again next year.
Well, you just also wonder, so how many are you going to pay? And the pay scale at Arkansas feels like it's going to be larger than the other places. So how many are you going to pay compared to what you did last year? How can you dole the minutes out, keeping everybody healthy, and have a team that is cohesive without any of the jealousies that I think sometimes can rise up when it comes to who's getting the minutes. Now, Matt, I can also appreciate the thought. I'm looking at a baseball team right here that also put together a completely new lineup than they had last year, save for 2 players. And there has to be an acceptance of roles, whether you like it or not. And so looking like a Rocco Pepe, the kid who started at first base to begin the baseball season, coming out of Fresno State, all he did for 3 years at 2 schools in California was hit and play with energy and seemed to be a good teammate. He gets to the opening day start at first base. He doesn't play at all right now because he wasn't hitting for the first couple of weeks when he was getting time to play. Cam Kozel ends up on fire, and he's the first baseman now, and it's actually been like a couple of weeks since Pepe had an at-bat. And I'm not trying to compare Rocco Pepe and his talent level to maybe like a Darius Acuff and a Malik Thomas and Isaiah Seeley, top 50 players in the country. But there were other teams in the country that were looking to get a guy like Rocco Pepe, or were trying to get Pepe into the middle of their lineup, and not just at Arkansas, but other places in the SEC. And, he's surpassed by somebody, he would have been a DH if Kuhio Aloy wasn't hitting the way that he is, and that he kind of came out of nowhere. So, but I'm seeing a baseball team where the acceptance of the roles, to me, feels like it's one of the reasons why they play with the kind of spirit that they do. If there are jealousies, everybody's quiet about it, and it doesn't seem to rear up. It is something I do wonder about when you're talking about a game with, finite amount of minutes. And if somebody's playing well, look, a lot of times they stay on the court for 32, 35 minutes a ball game.
Yeah, you got to mature. You got to understand defensive concepts. You got to be physical. You got to be tough to play basketball. And as far as what you're talking about on the baseball field, man, that's big clubs, big problems. That's what you got Ferrari sitting in the garage right now. I mean, it's a very soccer-esque, top 6 club. You have a starting 11 that's just as good as anybody else's. And then you got 3 or 4 or 5 guys that could start for your team that are on the bench. South Carolina basketball, Arkansas's got a plethora of riches right now.
You think there would be, by the good thing saying that word today instead of yesterday, Clay would not have gone very well with the plethora word. I don't care. I think it's a great word. But would your view on this be just gather as much talent as you possibly can for this basketball
but
team
you got to have
year?
the right guys, Phil. Okay. And you brought that up with baseball. You have to have locker. You can't have selfish guys. You get one bad seed. So I've been in a football locker room and a basketball locker room, both of them. And football, you have about 3 or 4 guys that kind of control the locker room, no question about it. Basketball, one bad apple, one bad seed can mess it up. I mean, it's because the rotation, 7, 8 guys that play somebody. So character's a really big deal. Not being selfish. Do you want to work? Do you want to be coached? These are all these type of questions that you're going to have with these kids. But yeah, you want to make sure you get the right fit. Just because you have a lot of talent, but if you're not a good dude, I don't really want you on my team. You kind of got to be a good. There's a Razorback way, so to speak. There's a way to go about it.
And all of those things that you bring up there, I think are aspects of DJ Wagner of why you would want to keep
100%. I'm a DJ Wagner fan.
Absolutely. Well, these are all, things that may be kicking around the minds of the coaching staff right now, the players as well, as we're still in like the 4th or 5th day of figuring out in our heads what a basketball roster is going to look like when the draft is still 2 months off, more than 2 months off. Halftime on a Thursday today. A lot of guests coming up with us. Brett Dolan in 2 hours. He'll be on some of the calls for baseball this weekend, as long as there are games to be played. This is a day where you would be answering the phone at a ballpark that you're working at, just by answering the phone and saying, "Game's on," and usually the person tells you that's what I was calling about, and you hang up from there. We'll also talk with Bubba Carpenter, have Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter, thanks to Sterling Bank, about an hour from now. And after the break, it's Hogville's Dudley Dawson with us on halftime. So stay with us.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
No, I did not get anything done after the game yesterday.
That's perfect for you.
Wasn't bad.
I don't do well with that. Like when it's nice outside, hard to kind of be too relaxing inside, especially this time of year. I got to get outside.
I could not live.
I had to get outside.
I could not live.
Well, thankfully you don't.
Listen to the Chuck and Bo Show weekday mornings on ESPN Arkansas and on the Hit That Line app.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new Ultra Matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Good morning, children. Welcome to school. I lost my self-control. Everything I did just went and turned to gold. I love the pictures on the wall, reminding me of what I lost again.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Just checking to make sure he's there. And he is. Dudley Dawson back on Halftime here. Hogville's very own. He's on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline as we take you through a Thursday morning and then up until 2 o'clock. Good morning, Dudley. What's going on?
Oh, just getting ready to do a little riding and watch some afternoon baseball. You know, kind of my deal.
How many people have asked you if there's going to be baseball games played this weekend? Because I've lost
many,
track.
many. Many. And I look at the weather reports and what they say, and I give my estimation, but it's usually I don't know.
That's basically the way I try to handle it too.
Yeah, I know they'll do their best to play 3 at some time during the weekend, and it's one of those series that you need. If you don't sweep it, you certainly need to get 2 or 3, but you better get all 3 if you're going to stay up at the top with these other 3 teams.
That's for sure. That is for sure. Because so look, Texas and Georgia play this weekend, so one of those teams will fall out of the top. Tennessee's got A&M. That looked like it would be a great series as a rematch of the national championship from last year, but now I feel fear for Texas A&M in this one. And then the Razorbacks take on Mizzou. So it's like, you've really got a chance here, maybe, because I think A&M's probably better than the record shows. Maybe you can take over first place by the end of this. And look, right now, when I watch this team, they've got what it takes to win a regular season championship in the SEC, and it looks to me like they're built for the long run.
Yeah, totally agree. And Missouri has obviously had a tough struggle getting out of the SEC, 0-9 so far. They are coming off 2 big wins over UAPB, 25-10 on Tuesday, and then last night I watched a lot of last night's game, 8-7. They rallied from down 7-2 to beat UAPB, and so 2 great wins on a half price beer night there at Missouri Stadium on both nights.
Half price beer night. I wonder what that meant it cost. They're not going to do the free concessions like Coastal Carolina,
right?
And I don't know. To me, it feels like that's a one-off thing. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Power 4 programs that are lining up for free concessions, especially now.
Too much money to earn off of those.
Well, come on now, Dudley. They're lopping on added concession fees too. So you got some schools going in the total opposite direction.
Yeah, it's a business, and we know now that certainly it is a professional business. We always said college sports were a professional business anyway, and now it's definitely that with the landscape we have now.
Hey, Dudley, Final Four, big weekend coming up. Kind of handicap this for me. I know we talked before it started, if Florida and Duke are playing their best, who's going to beat those guys. Can Auburn beat Florida? Can Houston beat Duke? How do you see this Final Four going?
Well, I definitely think Houston can beat Duke. And, I've watched Houston play these last few years. Kelvin Sampson's a great coach. I don't think they're going to. Certainly wouldn't bet on that. I would bet on Duke getting there. But, yes, Houston can beat them. And then Auburn and Florida, you just never know what's going to happen when 2 league teams get together. Florida has played great, pretty consistent throughout the year, but obviously so has Auburn until the end of the regular season when they had a few losses. The help of Janiah Broome, that's probably going to be a big key there because Florida can get you inside and outside. I've got Florida and Duke. I've got Florida winning it, and I hope that happens because I'm in one contest where there's a free 75-inch TV if you win it, and I'm in first right now. So I'm throwing this impartiality out of the deal now. I want that new TV.
So Todd Golden the other day is talking about the game against Florida or against Georgia Auburn, and kind of where their program. He said that it's a little early in the process for us to make it to a Final Four or play for a national title. And I'm just not sure. It's just third year as the coach there. But is it really early in the process for a place that has won national titles? I'd even forgotten. This is the 25th anniversary of Florida. I think this first time Florida made a Final Four and lost to Michigan State in the championship game. Why is it early for them? Because I'm not sure if it feels like it's really early for them just in terms of the amount of time he's been there. But nowadays, it doesn't necessarily take 3 years to build a program.
Yeah, I might have bought that statement, back 10 years ago. But again, I go back to the way landscape college sports is now, and when you can revive that roster and return it around so quickly, he did a great job recruiting. He's got that 7'9" kid just sitting over there on the bench, but they've got plenty of height and to keep Janiah Broome and the others from getting their points and most likely rebounds is going to be a big factor in this ball game. But no, it's not too early at all. And Coach Golden, you better cherish it because it, like in 90, 94, 95 here, it seemed like it was going to happen all the time, and it hadn't happened since then. And you better cherish it. You better go out and win it. You just got to take care of your opportunity.
Hey, Dudley, have you seen any of these incoming freshmen that are going to be Razorbacks next year? And can you kind of, because I haven't seen them play, it's tough for freshmen to come in. And, I mean, you see unicorns, every so often. And Coach Cal's had some, you think Marcus Camby, Anthony Davis, Derrick Rose, John Wall. I mean, he's had some of them. What, any of these freshmen, how do you kind of handicap them? How do you think they're going to impact the team next year?
I think they're going to come in and start. And I know that's saying a lot, but I suspect, obviously, that Boogie will probably go on and put himself in the NBA draft, and that Wagner, you keep hearing stuff one way or the other about him staying or going. But I think these two guys are so talented, and they're at least. A lot of people say they're two of the top 10 guards in the nation. I think they're two of the top 10 players in high school in the nation. They've both been really good over the course of their careers. They're the kind of guards that Cal likes to have in his program. They both view themselves as one and done, as a lot of high school players do these days. But I think that's a legitimate deal. I do think that they're again phenomenal players, and they're somewhat different, but both of them have the height, have the ability for it at all three levels, and I think will also, from just what I've seen over the past couple of years, they play defense too, and that's rare, really, for some of these top-notch prospects these days to do it on both ends. But I really like them both, and I know he's very happy to have them coming in, and you wonder how that's going to affect the dynamic of what's left here.
I just try to put myself in kind of the situation here with DJ Wagner and think, what is the conversation like? So thinking about with Big Z going into the portal, and I think, be like, oh, Coach, I'm going to go into the portal. I got to do this. And you think, well, are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, all right. We loved you here. I hate that you're going to leave. Maybe that's best for you. That's kind of the way.
Have fun playing with your brother, because he was always headed to Illinois, and I think they got a commitment from him yesterday. So
okay, well, I mean, it made sense, but it's also like you can. There's certain levels of effort of trying to keep somebody, and with Wagner, I would think for the coaches, because to me, he's all the things Cal says about him. He's one of his guys. There's a spot for Wagner on the team. It's just how much are you willing to take what is probably going to be a diminished role?
Yeah, I agree. And also in this day and age of salary cap, who gets what? And you still, obviously, they've got to fill out this roster with some transfer guys, and I think they're getting kind of a little late start on this, it seems like to me, but I trust the coach since he did it last year from scratch, obviously. But yeah, he's made it clear that he's got to go get a couple of big guys, and if you're going to mutually agree to let Z go or whatever, then you better have something in the fire there, and I'm looking forward to it. All the basketball recruiting guys will be busy, I'm sure, for the next few weeks. And the portal thing closes quicker than normal this year. So,
Dudley, I always appreciate your opinion on basketball and always respect it. I just don't understand how you're saying high school kids are going to come in and take DJ Wagner's spot, the guy that led the Arkansas team in minutes this year. Nobody could guard him. I don't see how his role's going to I just wouldn't see how he still wouldn't play 30-plus. I don't think two freshmen coming in are better than Wagner already.
Well, I didn't. Maybe I didn't get it across. I think that would be your three guards out on the floor next year if Boogie goes pro, which I suspect, and we'll see if he doesn't. If it doesn't, then you're going to have a wealth of guards there, and everybody's going to have to find different roles. But I'm just telling you, I think those guys are really good. I also think that DJ Wagner, for whatever reason, gets too much blame at times. A lot of times, he's the guy who will step up and take a shot when nobody else was taking a shot this year, and he hit several of them. Obviously missed the last one, and that's what some people remember. But I'm not saying that that he wouldn't get his playing time here. I just don't know how much he wants to share everything.
Fair enough.
I know DVH had a pre-series presser earlier today, just before you got on the show. Anything groundbreaking? Anything to report back on?
I don't think so. He knows, just like all of us, like we started this phone call saying, they need to come out and win. I hate that Parker Coyle's, not going to be available for a while. I continued to note on that. They've just got to get him healthy. Gage Wood coming, but, maybe next week it sounds like he might be back in the fold and start, I guess what would amount to spring training again for him. But this offense, and while it didn't, just go nuts against Grambling the other day, this offense during the weekend has been something. And, Texas scored, I think, 8 and 7 runs against Missouri last weekend, and then in the doubleheader they played, I guess it was on Saturday. I suspect that Arkansas will be able to put up a lot of runs, and you've got to feel good about the way really all three guys pitched last weekend. There were an inning or two with Gackle and Landon, but I do think that he feels good about what he's got here, and he should.
Oh, let's see here, Dudley. What do you? No Cardinal game today. So what do you got? Red Sox, Orioles. About 30 minutes or so.
12:05. Red Sox and Orioles. Hopefully Heston will be in the lineup today. They're yin-yanging him around again. They've got an injury with Colton Cowser, and you thought he'd get a little bit more time, but he's only started 2 of the 4 games since Colton Cowser got hurt. So, man, kid needs to play, doesn't he?
I agree. Yeah, play him or trade him. We'll see. Dudley, appreciate you. See you at Baum this weekend with an umbrella.
Sounds good.
And bells on, too. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Get over to Crabtree RV Center very soon, even though it may snow sometime this weekend. You're thinking about big plans and adventures for the family over the summertime. And there's an RV on the lot at Crabtree Center that fits exactly what you need. Crabtree RV Center's been doing it for 75 years and counting, giving each buyer and their family the best RV purchasing experience. They'll help you choose the right RV. There's personalized financing, top-of-the-line parts and service department, and everything else you need at Crabtree RV. They're online at crabtreerv.com. And halftime is back right after this.
I saw you on the TV yesterday. Are you all natural? Like, do you dye your hair? Is it all you?
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, as saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the luxe you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Here, but you work here. And when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. Then now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina Chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I read about this today, and then I started to feel bad that I didn't know that was happening and could have at least previewed it and let some folks know. Jerry Rice was at U of A yesterday. This is part of the distinguished lecture series at Bud Walton Arena. Yes, that Jerry Rice, Matt.
Man, he's the Phil. When I say, Jerry Rice, if you're to say top two receivers in the entire world to ever play the game, he would be on one side, Randy Moss would be the other, and maybe Larry Fitzgerald would be right there behind him. But you talk about just an absolute legend. Wouldn't you just love just to hear him talk for, not that you have to like go talk to him, but if you hear him talk 30 minutes and some of his workouts we used to do, Phil, just at growing up, you look at people that do stuff, how he would do that. He would run up the hill. You know,
he was famous for running up the hill and the stairs.
So
at the stadiums.
Pops like that one. Coach Jones, we'd run up the hill, but running up the hill is something you did your entire career in the off season. You'd go find a hill and sprint up it. It's such a great workout.
I just read in the Democrat Gazette about what he's talking. Apparently, he is still a workout fiend at 63, Matt.
You saw him in C Unit's boy Brett Favre doing that gold belt commercial, for the body armor type stuff. He looked sharp.
Yeah, he was in the other commercial with with McConaughey, the NFL is promoting food.
You think it's funny he's eating rice?
Jerry's eating rice. He's I don't know if he could still play or not. There's still old dude baseball, of which I'm pretty sure there's some ex-major leaguers that are still playing it. Is there old guy football? Because if there is, you got to get Jerry Rice there, because I bet you he could still run and catch and avoid a tackle. And I'm trying to think out of the three guys that you listed there, Larry Fitz, Jerry Rice, and Randy Moss. Which one? So I'm only going to allow you to put one on either edge, Who's in the slot?
It would be Fitz. It'd either be Fitz or Rice is what you would put in the slot. Moss is an outside guy, 100%. Fitz and Rice are so similar in their speed, in their ability to not drop a single pass. It's like that Tony Gwynn stat. Like Larry Fitzgerald didn't have as many drops in his entire career as Terrell Owens had in one season. And Terrell Owens is a Hall of Famer.
That's catching the football just has to be so amazingly difficult when it's coming from a quarterback who can throw it as fast as some of these guys could. I don't know if you saw this video. Bryson DeChambeau hanging out with Matthew Stafford. I think they were at a golf course, and since they're playing DeChambeau's game, all of a sudden they decided for a moment, I guess DeChambeau was talking that he could catch a pass from Stafford if he threw it at the regular speed. So he runs a crossing pattern. Stafford throws a dart right where it needs to be, and not only did DeChambeau drop it, but it looked like the ball might have gone partially through his hands and hit his face.
So there was I was in the slot playing receiver at Arkansas when Tavares Jackson was quarterback in the late great. I love some Tavares Jackson. Stafford, strong arm. Tavares Jackson every bit as strong arm as Stafford. And I ran a pass and it dislocated a finger. And Pops is like, son, you're a quarterback. You can't run passes when him. Like Bryson DeChambeau's agent should have said, no. That's a horrible idea. You have to use your hands to grip a club. You can't go catch a pass from Matthew Stafford. That doesn't even sound like a good idea.
No, it really doesn't. So I had a friend of mine who I worked in college radio with, and he got an internship with the Steelers in media relations when Cordell Stewart's the quarterback. He ends up on the sideline before a game, and I don't know if it was before a game or a practice or whatnot, but Cordell asked him, hey, can you warm me up? So he starts throwing, warm-up passes to my friend who's not athletic at all. And my buddy's hands were killing him by the end of this, absolutely killing him by the end of it. And you can tell, like, catching a pass from just someone who played high school football and was good is going to feel a lot different than catching a pass from somebody like a Matthew Stafford. And I'll never forget the feeling when I was in high school. I'm a sophomore. We had one guy off our team get drafted. One guy. His name was Dennis Baer. And he was a big right-hander. We didn't have radar guns then, but he threw 92, 93 for high school. That's a lot. That's about as painful as my left hand ever felt. I caught guys that were throwing 81, 82, 92, 93. That just felt different. I didn't really want any part of that. Maybe that was the moment I realized I wasn't going to be a pro ball player because it hurt too much.
Well, that's kind of the thing with these quarterbacks I've been talking about all season, and I think Shedur's kind of dropped a little bit, which I don't have I want the guy to be successful, but when I watched him at college, I didn't think his arm was strong. I don't think people. That's a great point, Phil. I don't think people understand the elite quarterbacks to play at that level to be able to make a defense defend every blade of grass. How strong, how much of a hose you have to have up there to. Now, some guys are very accurate, and that's their superpower. Like Tua's on the low end. He still has a strong arm, but he's kind of on the low end of strength. And that's what I wonder about Sanders and Jackson Dart, if their arm's strong enough.
So that's the thing about Stafford that I love watching. It's just
he's a baseball guy. Didn't he play with Kershaw? Weren't they high school teammates?
I think they were.
Yeah.
He looks like he's as accurate
as
a pitcher would need to be.
Yeah.
And so speaking of arm strength and how this doesn't always translate to the ability to throw it where you want, Joe Milton's been traded to the Cowboys by New England. Where did he go, to Michigan and then Tennessee? And if you ever put like a long bomb contest, it's like I love the long drive contest and I love home run hitting contest because it's the extreme aspect of the sport you're watching, but can you do the other things to really be good about it? Joe Milton could probably throw a ball a full football field. But if he needs to throw a 10-yard out, he's not very accurate with it at all. But there's an interest. But he's still playing. I don't know where he's going to be a third stringer. But there's Joe Milton's now a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, keep working your craft. Footwork, lower body stuff is going to be real important with him for his accuracy. That's what happens a lot of times. I mean, kind of in between the ears as well. You think of Anthony Richardson. But you would tell those kids, man, that to get as many reps in college football as you can get. That is one thing, I guess, about Shiloh Sanders or Shadur Sanders and Jackson Dart. They got a lot of college reps. You got to get as many reps as you can before you get up there, because your margin for error at that level it's just so finite.
What do you think the equivalent would be that we're talking about here to basketball in terms of the speed of what the ball moves? With baseball, it's like you get down to the field level at a major league game, you get a sense of why it's such a difficult sport to play. Much different than even if you're sitting up in the upper deck. Same with football. The speed of the game. Think of the speed of the puck in hockey. What would be the difference in basketball?
The length. The NBA guys are all built like a they're all if whatever they are, their wingspan is 6 inches more than, like, their hands hang below their knee. Like, it's the length 100%. And then IQ, I think, being a smart player, understanding what the other team's trying to do. Some of these players it's like when I would talk about Coach Dow Loggins, he could tell what the other team was running after about 2 series of picking up of signals. And as a basketball player, you got to the team's going to run pretty much the same stuff the entire game. And so being able to be halfway intelligent at that, because some of these kids they're just tall and they're just like, well, you have to play, and you wonder how much do they really want to play the game? How much are they really studying film? They're just built they're just built different.
Now back to Jerry Rice here, where we started, who still holds NFL records for receptions, receiving yards, receiving TDs, overall touchdowns, yards from scrimmage, and all-purpose yards. In today's day and age of NFL offenses, he still holds all these records, and I don't think he's played it down in, over 20 years?
I wonder when he started playing if they were playing 16-game schedules or if they were playing 14 as well. Okay, so
it was 16.
They're playing more games now as well. But and the thing he had, too, was reliability. I mean, how many times was Jerry Rice hurt?
But what about, for somebody to play that long at that position, the intelligence level and the overall awareness of the field and just the general, I don't know, it's like sixth sense of where everybody is to be able to avoid that big hit that everybody's trying to lay on you and knock you out. To me, out of all the things that a guy that can play that long in the NFL would have to do, that might be the most impressive part of it. So I'm not looking at his pro football reference page or anything. I don't remember Rice being hurt very much.
That's what I was saying. And so at that position, by your second, you need to know what you have an idea. It's down in distance. You have an idea what the coverage is, no question about it. But by the time your release is off the line, you can tell exactly what they're doing. Like, you see where you see what's, so you have to be halfway smart to be able to play that long.
877-377-6963 is our number for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I saw where, if you weren't at the distinguished lecture series at Bud Walton yesterday, where Jerry Rice spoke and did a moderated Q&A for faculty members, students at U of A. They have it on the uark.edu website. Otherwise, if you didn't see it, you're kind of out of luck. That's a little bit too bad. Brought to you today by Valley Family Dental. Used to be known as Riley Farm Dental. They're still at the entrance to Riley Farm and still provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman Farmer and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice, making sure their patients have a better life. You'll leave comfortable and more confident, have a beautiful smile every time, specializing in general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and now same-day crowns available. And you get $300 off a snore guard at Valley Family Dental if you tell them you heard about it on ESPN Radio. 226-3500 is the phone number for Valley Family Dental. They're online at valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Back to wrap up hour number 1 of Halftime after this.
There's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. The universe tends to unfold as it should.
This is Halftime.
Hey, Tuesday's is a great day to stop by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I know everyone thinks tacos on Tuesday, Brooklyn, but you guys have taco pizzas on special as well, plus some special drink prices on Mexican beers.
Yes, we have our $1 off Mexican imports, $2 off margaritas, $1 off when wearing a Papa's t-shirt.
How many Papa's Pub t-shirts do you have?
Quite a bit right now in stock.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Spring is in the air, and Gelco Outdoors has all the gear you need to get outside and enjoy the spring season. Just arrived. Crispy footwear, comfortable boots for hiking, hunting, and work to help you cover some ground. Spring clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Under Armour, and more. Just arrived hunting gear for spring turkey season. Shotguns, ammo, clothing, and footwear. And the largest selection of turkey calls around. Think spring, think Gelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hogs. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-442-4185. Let's win together, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Hello, darling.
Hello, I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. We are excited to open our second location in Sallisaw, Oklahoma. We may be from the city, but we're ready to put down some country roots, right across from the Sequoia County Courthouse. Stop by this Friday, April 4th from 10 to 4 to meet me and our team. We'll have food, drinks, and giveaways. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
We all plan to be on time, but fender bending, damaged windshield, and slick road quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson, we're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Ethan, you guys have a massive event coming up May 2nd and May the 3rd.
We will have the Kawasaki Good Times demo truck here for Kawasaki demo rides, games, and prizes. Rollin' Smoke Barbecue food truck will also be here, and on that Friday, Ruskin and Zach will report live from the event. That is the Steel Horse Rally weekend. See our Facebook page for all the details and updates.
That's Wheeler Power Sports, 901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
I'm going where you be, 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 I'm going where you be. I don't care where you go. I'm going down south, 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 I'm going down south until they win on.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of yuck on this radar right now. It doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon either. Won't have answers about what the baseball series is going to look like this weekend. I just know 7 o'clock tomorrow is when the first game is supposed to be played. I'll show up expecting 7 o'clock until I'm told otherwise. But we do go to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Brent is here from Searcy. Good morning, Brent. How are you? And Brent, we'll try one more time. Hello, Brent. I can never quite trust Brent's connection sometimes. Hopefully everything's all right with him. But 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Matt, yesterday, the Dodgers and the Braves met. It was the Braves leading 5-0 in the bottom of the second inning. By the time that we got to the ninth inning, the Dodgers had tied it. It was Shohei Ohtani bobblehead day, and then Ohtani came to the plate in the ninth inning. One pitch is all it took.
Center field. Harris is back. Oh, Tony.
Joe Davis with a tremendous call. Inevitable. Because everybody at that moment at Dodger Stadium is expecting it. And on bobblehead day, his own bobblehead day, he delivers it. The Dodgers are 8-0. And the Braves have lost every single game they've played as well. I think it's an 0-7 start. You want to talk about unicorns? There's another unicorn. And he may be pitching at some point by the end of the season this year, too.
Well, the Braves still have time to gather themselves, huh? What would be kind of the moment you say, well, the Braves aren't going to make the playoffs? I mean, they still have time to make a run. I mean,
you've got to really, I would say by the time, if you're the bottom of the standings once you get into the middle of June, by the All-Star break, it can be really difficult to dig yourself out. Maybe you start at that point.
Well, because you kind of are who you are as well.
Yeah, well, and they also, they lost Jurickson Profar for 80 games for a PED suspension, a really important piece to their lineup. And it's, 80 games, that's half the season. So I think they're looking into the second half right now, and the Dodgers can't lose. I mean, they're just at this place here where they literally cannot lose a ball game. And that's a team. It's like, going into a football season where you're thinking Ohio State's the national championship team, and they end up going undefeated and winning the whole thing. It's like they don't get that very much out of baseball. Of course, the Dodgers are not going to win every game, but the way that they're built, even compared to the rest of their division, I don't know if 116 wins, which is the major league record for a regular season, is not out of their reach. You win your first 8, you're certainly on your way there. Hour number 2 of halftime is coming up, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter will be coming up as well. We'll dig into more of the Final Four and see if the Hogs are in on anybody in the transfer portal, too. Stay with us. Halftime right back after this.
Founded in 1976, Moix RV has always focused on bringing family and friends together, and this has never been truer than now. As we continue into our 50th year, we are proud to be a family-owned and operated Arkansas original. With marquee manufacturers like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Forest River, and Winnebago, we have the RV for your next adventure at prices that will not be beat. Moix RV, built for adventure, rooted in Arkansas. Visit us in Conway, Hot Springs, and Springdale, or online at moixrv.com.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker Newson dealer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A particularly dangerous flooding situation setting up today through Sunday. We could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain. Some folks could see up to 15. So showers will increase and intent will be in the 60s today. Showers and storms with very heavy downpours tonight. We drop into the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are your choice for ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Fight like hell for the University of Arkansas the entire time that I'm the head coach.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
That ain't but one racerback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones. One, two, three.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Getting a little darker outside the windows here in the home studios. Welcome back in. Halftime continues 1 minute after 12 noon. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Bubba Carpenter coming up in just about 15 minutes. Doing a little baseball chat with Bubba. Today, Matt, the 25th anniversary of Michigan State's last national title. The 2000 Michigan State Wolverines, led by Mateen Cleaves, defeating the Florida Gators, coached by, of course, Billy Donovan, and led by Mike Miller and Udonis Haslem and Matt Bonner, some of the NBA guys that are on that team. You know, there were 3 seeds that were outside the top 4 that made it to the Final Four that year. North Carolina and Wisconsin were 8 seeds. Florida was a 5, Michigan State was a 1, and here we are with the Final Four, in which every team that's in San Antonio this weekend was a 1 seed.
Yeah, adjust and adapt, change with the times. I think it's going to be more chalky as far as the NCAA basketball tournament. Not necessarily all 1 seeds, but you know, when you're kind of looking at it, there's about, 12 teams, I think, when you're kind of looking at it, you're like, yeah, I could see one of those teams making it if they slip up. And then, 2 teams, if Florida is playing their B-plus game, I don't know who, and same with Duke. Those 2 teams, I think, clearly are the 2 best. And then Houston just gets after you, man. Was Jason Richardson on that Michigan State team with Mateen Cleaves, or did he come a little lit? He might have came a little bit after him.
He was there. He was a freshman that year.
He was a freshman that year. Yeah, I remember Mateen Cleaves, another guy. He was like the 16. I remember I had all those cards. He was right around the lottery pick, and he couldn't play in the NBA. Like you can see, you kind of look at guys, and he's a really good college point guard. He wasn't good enough to play in the NBA.
Morris Peterson had the longest NBA career out of that.
He had
Michigan
a glitch.
State team.
NBA Live. Me and one of my buddies, we'd play the NBA Live game, and you'd go over to the corner, and if you could just do it, he was that left-handed. Boom. Oh man, he'd go like 8 for 11 in the game. You just get so upset. Little corner three.
That's really early in this consecutive tournament streak for Michigan State, which I don't know, is it like 30 years now? It's at least close to 30 years with Izzo. So that was really early in his career there. Just going back and looking. Yeah, that was the sixth year that he was the head coach. So, you look at it now and say, yes, that was early, but 6 years in, you're expected to do something. And a national championship is doing something, and they'd made the Final Four 2 years in a row. Actually, 3 years in a row because they got in there in the next year. It's falling a little bit short this year, though. Anyway, that one caught my eye because that's a Final Four where only three of the 2 8 seeds in a Final Four. That's the kind of thing would be like, all right, oh no, it's Cinderella. Well, North Carolina is one of those teams, so who's really a Cinderella?
What was that year? BCU played. It was like an 8-11 to see who would go to the championship game that year. That was pretty. I think George Mason made it as a higher seed as well.
Well, if they can change, they can change the Indiana High School State Athletic Association championships into, the more federated sort of style that every other state does it. And one of the reasons that the movie Hoosiers hit so hard is that state did just one tournament for every high school for years and years and years. They changed it because I think they had to, based upon the idea that, look here, those days of the 50s are long gone. Just like those days of 2000 are long gone now too. I'm with you, Matt. This whole thing of 4 number 1 seeds and all 16 Sweet 16 teams being from the Power 4 leagues. Some of that is because the Power 4 leagues are a lot bigger than they were before, just larger leagues, more teams. But another reason why is that's where the resources are.
I was going to say, maybe if you have like another McDermott where it's his son, he's at a Creighton, which I guess do you count Creighton as a Power 4?
I do.
Yeah,
it's really a Power 5 in basketball,
right? And so you kind of. The money's just too big that if there's any kid that has any type of success and you can tell that the dude's a player at one of those small and we all kind of at that age, you kind of blossom at a little bit. You might, Scottie Pippen grew 8 inches after college or after high school type thing. And so it's you kind of blossom at 18, 19, 20, a little bit different. You're not going to be able to keep your talent at school. Almost, they might need to have their own tournament. Like you're going to have, and then you could have the 2 champions play something like that. But yeah, you're almost going to have to put those guys in a different tournament.
Just a couple of pieces of news coming out of the transfer portal. Carter Knox's brother, Kobe Knox, announced he's transferred to South Carolina, so he'll be the 3rd member of the Knox family to play in the SEC. He was at South Florida last year, 10.8 points, just over 3 rebounds, about 1.5 assists, 1 steal per game. So a pretty productive player. 6'5", 195, 46% from the field. It's not quite I don't think he's quite at his brother's level, but that's a productive player that South Carolina's getting. And then I saw Carly Keats has gone into the portal from Arkansas women's basketball, and the first commitment of the Kelsey Music era is Yvette Mayberry. Yes, Mayberry. You know the last name. This is Lee Mayberry's daughter that had played at Tulsa and at Kansas, and Coach Music has gotten her to transfer to Arkansas, and it looks like that's your point guard next year, or at least one of your guards, but she was Kansas point guard this last year.
They still call him a legacy. She's a legacy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee Mayberry he was so good. His vision, that was one of his superpowers. So the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. I bet she's pretty talented.
Well, and her older sister, Talia, played, I think it was at Tulsa, too, or it might have been Oral Roberts. I can't remember which one of the schools because Lee coached at the school as well. And he's, of course, a high school coach now. But I bet you he shows up where it was so odd to see. I mean, he would come in as an assistant coach for ORU, and he's wearing the ORU colors. Well, next time Lee shows up at a Razorback women's basketball game, I bet you he's going to be wearing Razorback red, just like Charlie would whenever he would show up for a game too. Charlie is here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. What's up, Charlie? Missed yesterday.
Well, Phil, I'll tell you, yesterday was a rough day across this state. My prayers go out to everyone, and it was scary in a sense, but I mean at the same time, I always tell people be prepared, not scared. That's just kind of. But when you see those things and they're that big and they're headed right for you, it's a little bit, it's a little bit different. The thing that scares me more than anything is the night when it gets night and I can't see them, because if I can see them, y'all can bet that. Let's just put it this way: is the tune who can see it in the distance, he ain't staying, he gone. Okay, the thing is, I don't believe. Look, I don't have an underground shelter. I don't have a basement. I don't have anything like that. I don't believe sitting in the interior, and I don't have enough things to cover. I'm gone. If it's that big and they risk a tornado emergency, Tuna is out. Okay. And he understands how to read a radar and all these things, but that storm chaser that got close to it, I think Unit even shared it, man. That was some scary stuff yesterday. Matt, I know you've been through some tornadoes, but the pictures of those yesterday, was that a little different for you? Have you ever seen anything like that? I mean,
it's a blessing by God to survive those, because who knows what's going to happen when one of those comes around.
Yeah, man, they're rare. And the heck of a job by the SBC risking a high risk yesterday, level 5 over there in eastern Arkansas. They definitely got it right. They hoped for a bust, but, it didn't happen. I wanted to comment. So you guys are thinking that, we're not going to see as many Cinderella stories anymore in college basketball, right?
All right, here's the only thing, though, Charlie. What do you classify as a Cinderella? It's like I'd said.
The team outside the top 25. I think we have to redefine what a Cinderella is. Anybody that's over an 8-9 seed, like that's the new Cinderella. I don't think, because there was really about 12, 14, 15 teams that you liked in this tournament. I think that's the new definition of it. That if you're above a set, then you have deficiencies. That you had injuries. You had something wrong. You didn't finish in the top 3, 4, 5 in your conference. If you're over an 8-9 seed, you have some efficiencies.
Yeah, and I think I agree. But when you're in the SEC, I could argue that Arkansas. Look, we all know that they were not a 10 seed. It's just exactly what you just said with the injuries. They didn't come together until later. But I think the thing is going to be, did y'all see the story? It doesn't make any sense. I don't believe it, that Cooper Flagg possibly would come back next year.
If you're going to be the number 1 overall pick of the NBA draft,
there's no way.
Decide to go back to college, I mean, it must be because you really can't stand the thought of playing for the team that's got the number 1 pick.
Yeah, well, but see, that's the thing. Doesn't the lottery happen later or after you have to? I'm not sure when they drop the ball, and
yeah,
I'm not sure when they have to decide. But yeah, man, that's crazy. And it also would be like, are we going to get to a point where they're making more NIL money than rookie contracts? Is that coming, guys? Because if it does, man, I don't know.
Could potentially be a step
more than a second rounder, but
difficult to get to. Yeah, these are pretty amazing contracts that they're signed to, at least in terms of the signing bonus.
Anyways, y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe, and love y'all. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Charlie. I love you right back. Appreciate that. You don't want to let that just dangle out there. Sometimes you have to return it. I want to return that feeling for him.
I want to see the tuna mobile in action, man. He's got a lead tuna foot, and let's get out of the way.
There's a shock value that makes you stand up and take notice and turn the television on when George Mason makes a Final Four, when VCU makes a Final Four. It's the same idea as Hickory making the Indiana State championship game in whatever year that it happened. And I don't remember the name of the town. Was it Milan, Indiana? Milan, Indiana that did that. Coastal Carolina winning a baseball national championship. Stony Brook making the College World Series. All of these things, those are the real Cinderellas. The schools that you kind of have to look on a map to see where they're located, because you might not have ever heard of them before, or if you did, it had nothing to do with athletics. And I just wonder if that era is over. Those, to me, are the Cinderellas. I look at a North Carolina in 2000 that goes to the Final Four as a number 8 seed. I can't ever appreciate the idea of North Carolina basketball being a Cinderella, independent of how bad the season they've had. It's North Carolina. They get an incredible kind of talent. That's why I had trouble looking at Arkansas the same way against Kansas and against St. John's, because I think you all knew that talent-wise, that was no Cinderella. It was just based on the record and the seed.
You know, Kansas, they were a team that when I watched them play kind of let you down. Like you look at them and you're like, y'all are Kansas basketball. Y'all are supposed to be a blue blood. We had better athletes up and down our lineup than Kansas did. Like Kansas didn't even belong on the floor with us. What was that a couple years ago when we had Anthony Black and that crew and you played Kansas? That was a battle. That was a totally different. This Kansas team, they look soft. They had a couple guys that could shoot it, and they were making their run when Achilles got popped, which you hate it for that kid. But Kansas didn't seem like they had the athletes Arkansas had.
We'll try Brent another time here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Brent, how are you?
I'm great, Phil. How about you guys?
Good. We hear you this time. What's up?
I had to get off when I was waiting on you because I had to check on a friend of mine with the storm, make sure he was all right. So
well, I hope everything's okay.
Oh yeah, everything's fine. Phil, has anything happened new today on the transfer portal?
Oh, in terms for Arkansas, no. The women's team has gotten a commitment from Yvette Mayberry to coming in from Kansas. So that's the first shoe to drop in terms of a commitment to Coach Music's program. So that's good news. That's a
good legacy pickup right there.
Oh, absolutely,
and
it is a legacy. That's true.
Phil, what do you think about the baseball games Friday?
Yeah, I don't really know what to tell you. I just I keep looking at the radar. I keep looking at the hour by hour updates. Oh, here's the truth that the U.S. Postal Service never gets shut down. It's pouring rain outside the window, and the guy's delivering mail. Good for him. All I can tell you, Brent, is Friday didn't look really good. You got to find a way to get something in Saturday if you can. It's just Baum-Walker's Field drains to the point where if you get a window, you can get out there and start playing baseball in about 40, 45 minutes. So my whole idea this weekend is just be ready to go at a moment's notice.
I have a question before I let you go. When did Parker Coyle get hurt? Did he get hurt at Vanderbilt?
It's what it seems like. I think it was warming up. I think it was Saturday and felt something. I can't see when they're warming up at Vandy. The bullpens are out of my view, so I didn't see it happen, or I can't tell you what it was. But I know he was warming up, felt something, and it's not good. So it sounds like 4 to 5 weeks, which means Cole Gibbler is going to have a step up in his role, and Colin Fisher too. Probably more Gibbler than anybody because Fisher was already pitching on weekends. Gibbler can get you some outs, Brent. He can get you outs. He's a lefty. Fastball is good enough, but he'll keep him off the fastball because he's got a great changeup and a really good couple of breaking pitches. So we'll see if Cole Gibbler, who's kind of emerged already, continues to emerge maybe this weekend when we do play, because they're going to play baseball this weekend. This is definitely one of those days. Like when I worked at the Travelers, Matt, we would answer the phone on days like this. Traveler baseball, game's on, and 7 times out of 10, that was the only thing they wanted to know. That was it. It wasn't for any other reason.
Why don't you tell me what movie you went to see?
That's exactly right. Hey, if you're looking for a side-by-side, a motorcycle, ATV, zero-turn mower, never look any farther than your local Wood Power Sports store. They've got 3 convenient locations, all within our listening audience in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville, and all the brands you're thinking of: Can-Am, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda, just to name a few. These great locations also provide outstanding service and parts capabilities and deliveries. That's Wood Power Sports, a solid name you can trust at woodpowersports.com. Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter coming up here on Halftime after the break.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, as saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the luxe you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Thanks for what?
Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You can renew your tickets through the March 31st deadline. For more information about Razorback football tickets, just visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
I got you crying out, not so. You like to turn away. It's turn just like a fool. When you're running, baby.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It's Thursday. It's our second segment, 12 o'clock hour. That means we've got the one and only handsome Bubba Carpenter on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and it's time for Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter.
It's time to Batter Up with Bubba, featuring Bubba Carpenter.
Batter up. Bubba Carpenter hits a 2-run shot there that cuts the Phillies' lead to 1.
Brought to you by Sterling Bank, local friendly banking made to fit you. Visit your local branch in Fayetteville, Rogers, or Bentonville to discover the Sterling difference.
But you know what we can always do is turn on a Razorback game or go to a Razorback game and see baseball played the right way, and that's what I love to do.
That one is way back, and that ball is out of here.
That's awesome right there.
Bubba, what's up? How many people are asking you if there's going to be baseball this weekend?
Well, Phil, quite a few, and I've been asking myself that question too. I've been wearing out my weather app, so I don't know. I'm not seeing a lot of windows. Tomorrow doesn't look good, but Saturday there might be a small window. So we can play on Sunday. It's going to be cold, but at least sun's going to be out.
I'm ready for it. I do wonder, and Hog Noxious had texted in asking about a potential Missouri travel curfew for Sunday, because that's one of the programs that will travel via commercial flights. In fact, I think they are, because they're playing Southern Illinois, Edwardsville in midweek, and then flying out of St. Louis to go to Gainesville. So I'm pretty sure they've got a commercial flight. And I just kind of get to the point here where if you're going to have an SEC baseball program, I appreciate the thought that it's an expensive sport. They play the most games, they spend the most time on the road, and there's a lot of miles. But as far as I know, there's only 2 programs that do the commercial flights. I think if you're going to be an SEC baseball program, the other would be Kentucky, and you saw what happened with them at A&M on Sunday. You should probably have to have charter flights.
Yeah, I agree, Phil. And look, where's the common sense in the fact that why can't we play on Monday? I mean, it's 2025. If you're worried about classes, you can take it by Zoom. You're not going to miss anything.
The funny thing that you bring up there, you think about why not do this on Monday? You'd be like, well, okay, it's their day off, right? How many? Because that's the day that the coaches, I think, are not allowed to have contact with the players. You'd be like, okay, how many of these guys are taking like a quote unquote day off? The answer is none of them.
You're right, but it's just it goes back to the whole common sense thing, Phil. And you and I get started on it sometimes on the broadcast, and it's like taking the strike zone away from the coaches on the tablets in the dugout, and just some of the stuff that goes on in the SEC. There's like no common sense anymore. It makes no sense that they can't play on Monday. Monday's going to be beautiful. I mean, we could play 2 games on Sunday and 1 on Monday, and everyone's happy. And if you're worried about not having enough pitching for the Tuesday game, if you're going to miss a game, what's more important, SEC or Tuesday midweek game? Cancel that.
Well,
but that's just my humble opinion.
You hit on some things that we wonder about. What is going on in the SEC office? And I think people wonder about that in all the sports in a lot of cases. Look, I think it's a well-run league. This is the most powerful league in college sports. But there are some head-scratching things. And I think the travel curfew aspect is one of them. Bubba, I'm sure maybe you had a chance to watch some of the Vanderbilt series that I called this last weekend. I missed you. I wish you would have been there. It would have been really fun to get your thoughts on shutting the Whistler up. But there was a play at second base where it looked to me, I think this was on a double by one of the Vanderbilt hitters, and Davalon made a great play out of the left field corner, threw a dart to second base. Souza tagged him, but his back blocked the umpire's view. And the runner for Vanderbilt, give him credit, he did what looked like a creative slide, deking with the feet, lunging for it with his hands. But when I watched the replay, Bubba, he tagged him. He tagged him out, and his hands were not at the base yet. We're not at second base. But the SEC office, who's looking at this review, they went with the original call. And the only reason the original call was made was because the umpire was in the wrong position. And I just thought they got it wrong. And when the thing that you're going to do, and when you think you can't see it, and to me it looked as clear as day, you go back to the original call. That to me is just what they do. They go back to the original call because it's the easiest thing to do.
I wonder, Phil, who's in that office, and do you ever think that sometimes, like my brain works a little bit different sometimes? Like was everyone else busy and they couldn't get a hold of anyone, so they just stuck with the original call? Because if you watch the replay, I agree with you. You were right. I don't know. It just doesn't. There's a lot of things that just with the SEC office, it's kind of head scratching. I don't know if we're to a point where, I don't know if you're an Elon Musk fan. Maybe send him down there to snoop around, figure out what's going on in that replay room, and let's start getting stuff right.
I hear he's not going to be in government that much longer, so maybe that's the next thing on his plate. I don't know. Hey, so I wanted to ask you about this. I got to give credit to the Hogs Plus guys for this, because this is on the Razorback Daily that's released today. Zach Root, I think he's a real ace, talking about a habit of his when he's on the pitcher's mound.
I guess when I was younger, I was on this team, and like the best player, he was the best player in Little League and all that. And he would sniff the ball right before he'd throw it. So I was like, hey, this might be why, because this might be because he's pretty good. So I started doing it, and it's kind of just stuck. So that's me smelling the ball. And I don't know. I don't know why I keep doing it. You know, the ball, I mean, I think the ball smells good, and I just keep doing it. And it's just second nature at this point.
Has nothing to do with the body wash that he uses either. But I'll tell you what, too, a freshly rubbed up baseball smells incredibly good. But, Bubba, this is also just a very lefty thing to do on a pitcher's mound.
You know what? I think you're right, Phil. You go back to some of the quirks from pitchers, and the lefties always have those little things that they do. But I think it's hilarious that he sniffs the ball. I mean, I don't know. Was it Yasiel Puig that used to lick his bat before he hit? Now Zach's out there licking the ball before he throws it.
Jesus either. That's right. We've got movie characters that lick a bowling ball before they throw it too. Mark Fidrych, remember him? He talked to the baseball. I mean, it's like, did you have teammates that just did weird things with a baseball?
Oh, I know a bunch of guys that did weird stuff. I mean, most of them were lefties. They just had their little quirks that you're always looking at. And you're like, what are you doing, dude? And a lot of it was stuff they did in the bullpen before they even got out on the field. And so, yeah, but it's funny. That's what makes them. They're real people, and they're a little odd sometimes. Sometimes you can't figure them out, but it's always fun.
Yeah, the guys in the bullpen always come up with really interesting games. Is it safe to say that the most bored person at a baseball park outside of an usher at an old Oakland A's game would be the relief pitcher that knows he's not pitching that day? Those guys, you got to watch out for them. You look for hot foots; those are the ones that are looking to do it.
You know, anytime our bat boy had to run down to the bullpen area, he would always come back with like a cup stuck to the top of his helmet, or there was always something going on. So yeah, they're a lot of fun, and you're right. I think they get bored down there, especially when they know it's a day they're not going to pitch. But yeah, I thought the Zach Root thing was funny, and I got a little laugh out of that.
Well, Root stepped into that Friday role and he to me, he looks like an ace. He's pitching like an ace, and he's giving length in terms of innings. And if I were to choose one thing that I would have liked to see from Hagen Smith last year was a little bit more length in terms of starts. He was a 6-inning guy. Root is a 7 to 8 inning guy, and I'll tell you, at some point, he's going to go the full 9 innings. And he's a heck of a lot fun. And look, I love watching Hagen pitch too. He was blowing guys away. Root pitched off his fastball this last weekend, Bubba. That's the pitch that he won that game with, even though his curveball was terrific.
Absolutely. You know, I watched Phil. Even in the 7th inning, he's still throwing 95 miles an hour. It was pretty impressive. And his fastball set up the rest of his pitches. He had the nasty curveball working, the cutter slutter thing that he throws was working. I mean, he had everything working. So he's a lot of fun to watch pitch. And I agree. I think if someone's going to throw a complete game, it's going to be Zach Root.
I'd forgotten the name of his pitch. Yes, he's sniffing the baseballs. He's throwing a slutter. He's a very interesting guy. Another lefty's going to have to step up, though, because of Parker Coyle being out for what feels like 4 to 5 weeks. Cole Gibbler's looked really good. What is it about Gibbler that he generates so many swings and misses and strikeouts?
Well, I tell you, Phil, first of all, he's got a fastball. It's got some carry on it. He's got a little deception in his delivery. It's hard to pick the ball up, so you pick it up late. But the slider is a plus pitch. I mean, guys, you and I have talked about it on the broadcast. I mean, we got guys swinging at pitches that are landing in front of home plate. They just don't see the slider out of his hand. He tunnels that fastball really well off of it, and it's a great pitch for him. But and and most importantly, he comes in, he throws strikes. I mean, he just doesn't walk people, and so it's other than the 2 hits he gave up against Missouri State to those 2 lefties, and I really think he was just tired, hung a couple breaking balls. Other than that, I mean, he's been spectacular all year, and so yeah, he's going to have to step up right now. Him and Colin Fisher are both going to have to step up with Parker Coyle out. I mean, that's a huge hit to the Razorback bullpen. But look, we got the guys to do it, and you can think about it another way. When Gage Wood comes back, hopefully there's a chance he won't be back this week, but next weekend. When he comes back, he might jump in that Sunday role. I don't know if they'll put him right in or use him out of the bullpen a few times first, but then we can always move Vital Cheese back. But we got to have some lefties out of the back of that bullpen.
So, independent of the idea of the weather, you want to play these 3 games just because Arkansas is playing so well. You don't want a weekend where you're not playing. And they've won 8 consecutive SEC games. So you go into this weekend, Missouri's 0-9. You can't help but show up and think, we're going to sweep them this weekend.
Well, I mean, so you don't want to disrespect them. I mean, they're an SEC team. There's good baseball players all over the country. These guys are SEC players for a reason. There's some really good players on that roster. They're just not playing as a team yet. They're a good group of players that don't play together as a team. So anything could happen. But with that being said, I mean, they're last in the SEC in pitching, Phil. I'm sure you've already looked that up. They've given up their ERA's 10.78 in the SEC, so they're allowing 10.8 runs per game. So you match that up against the Razorback offense, we're leading the SEC in hitting. And when you get to this point of the season, you know how I am. Once we get 9 games in, I don't look at regular stats. I look at SEC stuff only because that's really what matters. I don't care about who a team's playing on a Tuesday night. I care about what they're doing on the weekend. And the Razorbacks been dominating on the weekend, and Missouri, just to be honest with you, really been struggling. Defensively, they're not very good. Offensively, they got some guys that can swing it a little bit, but they're not a team. So, they get a few guys on base, they can't get that guy in. But pitching's really been struggling this year. And so, we'll see. It's definitely a series we want to play. But with that being said, if we play 2 games on Sunday, there's 7-inning games. Anything can happen in a 7-inning game. Those 7-inning games catch up on that 7th inning gets there really quick. So anything can happen. I think that benefits them if we end up doing the doubleheaders on Sunday.
So Matt, Bubba's not in on my new tradition yet, which I did the other day, and so what I've been doing, the team now has had packets of sliced pickles over in the baseball Circle K, right in the locker area, so I can bring some of those pickles up before the game, and it's kind of become my thing. It used to be M&Ms previously. It might have been a hamburger at other times. These days it's the pickles, and Bubba's just disgusted by this. What do you think he's going to feel when I walk into the booth on Friday with a cup of bone broth?
Man, that's a warm feeling right there, Bubba.
What is bone broth? What is that?
You'll get to an age where the doctor tells you what you got. You keep living how you're living, but then you'll get to an age like, you know what? You got to change your diet and your lifestyle. Bubba probably takes care of himself a little bit. Bubba, you break a sweat?
He shows up to the game with 2 Sonic burgers, Matt.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Matt,
you know how many? I've ate 2 hamburgers this calendar year. Since January 1, I've had 2 double cheeseburgers. I'll eat about 5 or 6 a year.
Hell, I've had 2 today.
I love it. I love it.
I eat like a 10-year-old fat kid, Matt. I'm not going to lie to you. Sorry to all the 10-year-old fat kids. I doubt if any of them are listening out there. But, yeah, I don't eat very well. I got to really start cleaning up my diet. But when Phil comes in with that pickle juice, that's nasty. I don't get how you can enjoy that. It stinks.
Wait until I pour some bone broth powder on your burger when you're not even looking, Bubba. I cannot wait to see the look on your face. We'll see you tomorrow, Bubba, okay? Rain or shine, I'll be there.
All right, looking forward to it. Hopefully this rain will go away. It doesn't look good, Phil, but hopefully it'll get away. Baseball guys will smile on us. Hopefully we'll get 3 games in, but appreciate you guys having me. Go Hogs.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Always appreciate his visits. It's Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter every Thursday. It's brought to you by Sterling Bank. When it comes to banking, you deserve a pleasant and productive experience, one that puts you first. That's exactly what you find at Sterling Bank. They are your community bank right here in Northwest Arkansas. Top-notch customer service. Every transaction feels personal because they're not just your bankers, they're your friends and neighbors. Sterling Bank, deeply committed to the people, businesses, and organizations that make Northwest Arkansas thrive with a passion for growth and progress. It fuels everything that they do. Local, friendly banking fitting your needs. Sterling Bank is in Fayetteville, Rogers, or Bentonville, and online at stirbank.bank. Sterling Bank is invested in you and committed to Northwest Arkansas. And get with Halftime now. The Lewis Automotive Group hotline is 877-377-6963. Back in a moment.
You don't have to worry, kid. I ain't gonna kill you. You're the only friend I got.
This is Halftime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The referee looks at his watch, and that's half-time.
This is Halftime.
Every Thursday, take a trip down memory lane at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's is bringing back the flavors you loved from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that once called this place home. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for Throwback Thursday and savor classic Cuco's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Attention Arkansas, Oklahoma gas customers. Could you benefit from payment assistance on your natural gas bill? If you have a past due balance, help us here. Through the Summit Heating Assistance Fund, qualified customers can receive up to $200 toward their natural gas bill this heating season or until funds run out. Apply today. Visit aogc.com/shaf or email shaf@unitedwayfortsmith.org for more information.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
what you ever do. And to get very well, you make me out to cry, but I can't see you every night. Free.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Here's a photo on the Arkansas women's basketball social media account of Lee Mayberry standing right next to Yvette Mayberry. He is wearing a Razorback hoodie with a couple of the dangly ties there. He's got a big smile on his face, some gray in the beard, and looks proud that he's got a daughter that's wearing Razorback uniform next to him too.
A little salt and pepper beard for Lee, for the wisdom, the wise Lee Mayberry.
What other great legacies have played at Arkansas? I remember, Frank's grandson, I think, played baseball for
Brewer,
a minute.
He might be those two might be the best two. I wanted to ask Dudley maybe next time, where would he compare these cats with Ronnie Brewer? Because Ronnie was better than ever. He was the best player on the team. Like when he showed up, he was the best defensive player. He was the smartest player. He could do what, he was better than everybody else. And you could see it's just hard. It's hard to win with freshmen, but I wonder how good these kids are compared to what Ronnie, because he's seen them both play.
Well, I haven't seen them play. It's just I also,
I haven't seen them play either. Yeah,
there's only a select few of kids that are invited to the McDonald's All-America game. And, you look at a ranking of somebody, how they rank in a class compared to somebody else, and it helps to get your eyes on them. But everything I've heard about each of these kids, I got friends back in Pittsburgh that have seen Malik Thomas play in high school. They're saying, boy, wait until you see what this kid can do. You've heard the same thing about Isaiah Seeley and heard the same thing about Darius Acuff. You're always going to hear those things. It's just, will it translate? I'm sure for Yvette it will translate because she's already been a good point guard at two schools, at Tulsa and Oral Roberts. Just thinking about some of the other legacies throughout history at Arkansas athletics, and Carson Shaddy was a good legacy. His father, Chris, was Dave Van Horn's double playmate. He almost had one with Pagnazzi, but his son chose Ole Miss. And then I saw Pagnazzi at the Ole Miss series, and he was wearing a Razorback shirt. Even his son doesn't play there anymore, but he was wearing a Razorback shirt.
You had, was it Jack Lindsay? I don't know. Was that Lindy's boy, or was that because Lindy played up there? So that would have been a legacy, right?
That's right. That would definitely be a legacy. It would be. I can't think of any others, but Mayberry would be near the top of the list here in terms of greatness while you were there, and. But these weren't their first schools. And Talia, I think she's been out of eligibility for 2 years, and I think Yvette may have 2 more years of eligibility. But that's the first incoming transfer for either men's or women's basketball. So somebody had asked earlier about why did Dudley say that Cal's gotten a late start in the portal, and I think that was just because there was the week between the opening of the portal and the Sweet 16 game. Yeah. I think that's the only reason why. Cash and Mountain Home says the Henrys. Yeah, they would be that would definitely be a legacy, a Razorback legacy, but also legacy with the papers that they've written for. That's a good one too. All right, we'll break here in a moment and wrap up our second hour. You can get with us at 877-377-6963. That's our Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and halftime continues after this.
This is halftime.
It's time for the Wrath Rod Replacement Sale at Wrath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get up to $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Wrath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Wrath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, WrathAutoFortSmith.com.
Fishing season is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear for you. The largest selection of rods, reels, and baits by Shimano, Daiwa, Lew's, Sixth Sense, ACC, Todd Huckabee, St. Croix, G. Loomis, Bobby Garland, Spro, X-Zone, and many more. Fishing clothing, footwear, and rain gear by AFCO, Brundens, Extra Tough, and Under Armour, Garmin Electronics, and much, much more. Jelco Outdoors, your fishing partner in the River Valley. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials. Wednesday, ladies' night. I know you love Wednesdays here.
I love my Wednesdays. All the ladies come out. We have $5.99 small cheesy bread. We have pink panty droppers on special. We've got blow bombs on special. And it's all about ladies on a Wednesday here at Papa.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Spring has arrived, bringing warmer days, road trips, and unpredictable spring showers. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we'll make sure your vehicle is ready for all your spring adventures. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your ride for whatever the season brings. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart, we keep America rolling.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
It's late September and I really should be back at school. I know I'll keep you amused, but I feel I'm being used. Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried anymore. Just to say you stole my heart, and that's why.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
We were trying to kick around the idea of what C-movie could have for his homework this next weekend. Matt, what was the other? There was a movie earlier.
Well, I was thinking of Val Kilmer movie.
Yeah,
that we were because of the the late grade, and then I don't know. We were talking about. I forgot the couple of the movies. Oh, you watched Little Bighorn and Big China. Was that what's the?
Well, that's not a Val Kilmer movie. That's a Kurt Russell.
But that's
movie.
That's how we got talking about it. You were telling
right.
me. Yeah.
We thought maybe Real Genius could work if you're looking for a Val Kilmer movie. That one's hilarious. It's still funny.
Yeah, it's the root of him as a human. I think that's kind of what I like it.
Matt in Fort Smith thinks maybe Heat.
Heat. If you've never seen Heat, I would agree with Heat. There's Sharon Stone, Ashley Judd, I believe. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, just to name a couple.
But then I started telling you guys in the commercial break just what I watched yesterday. I watched the end of Big Trouble in Little China, which I had fallen asleep to the night before. And then, for some reason, because Netflix told me you might like this, and I did like it when I'd seen it, I watched Starship Troopers, and I'd forgotten about how much nudity there is in that movie, specifically in the shower scene. So the moment I'd said that, I heard C. McMahon in the background, like all of a sudden he got fired up about that, and he apparently would like to assign himself Starship Troopers. But that's not a Val Kilmer movie.
Yeah, I mean it's like Idiocracy, like you'd put it on that level, like it's just a regular movie. There's nothing it's okay, it's not
There's
like
some really scary bugs. Like if you're afraid of insects and bugs, Sea Insect, that one will you'll have trouble sleeping that night. It's an entertaining movie.
There you go. It's any American movie, rememberable but forgettable.
It's an easy watch. It takes no thought or effort whatsoever. Which, we all need that. But like we had you watch The Doors. Didn't we have him watch The Doors?
Yes.
Yes.
So you've already seen the movie that everybody thinks of first with Val Kilmer. Try Tombstone. Have you seen that one?
I believe so.
We got him to do Unforgiven. I don't know if he's seen Tombstone yet.
No, I watched another Western. I can't.
Unforgiven.
Yeah,
it was Unforgiven. You need to remember the names of the movies. This will all be on the final exam at the end of the year.
That's what I was about to say. I don't know if we do enough pop quizzes or enough exams for him to, retain any of this. He just
Paula J just pop out the pop quiz every once in a while out of the blue.
It's sad how bad my retention is with movies. Like I enjoy it for that 2 hours, but like as far as
all I needed, C Beatle, all I needed to know about your retention was 12 months after you learned about the Beatles, you couldn't even name the names of the Beatles. So it's been like 4 months since we did it again. You want to try again in third? Don't worry.
The four Beatles?
Yeah.
Go for it. You got 26 seconds.
Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and
Jorge Posada.
I'm just kidding.
George
Harrison.
Thurman Munson.
There.
Gosh.
Stay with us. Third hour of halftime after the break.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A particularly dangerous flooding situation setting up today through Sunday. We could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain. Some folks could see up to 15. So showers will increase and intent will be in the 60s today. Showers and storms with very heavy downpours tonight. We drop into the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Tommy's right on this one. Do you feel? Let me ask you this.
Normal around here.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What ain't but one racer back?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back in. Halftime continues here on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing. We'll be talking with Brett Dolan in about 15 minutes from SEC Plus, RSN, and various other organizations. So if you want to get with us, now's the time on that Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. No updates on men's basketball portal, no comings, no goings just yet. I did see where Keyshawn Hall, who had a Zoom and had reported back good things from his Zoom with the Arkansas coaching staff, decided to play for Auburn now and is signed, I don't know if I say signed, but is committed to Auburn. Hall was the Big 12's leading scorer last year at 18.8 points per game. And I was looking back at his career here, and it's not quite the same in high school. He played at 3 different high schools. It's just sometimes you find out how good you are one year or as a sophomore, and then you end up going to a place where maybe there's a little better coaching. But he played at 3 different high schools, and this will be his 4th school in 4 years for Division I. Hall started at UNLV, George Mason, UCF, and now Auburn. And his numbers have improved on an annual basis, but Just do you look at that at all as a warning sign, like a red flag? If we're looking for reasons to not sign somebody, now, admittedly, you got to base your opinion on somebody on your experiences with them. So it's the one-on-one, it's the the Zoom, the conversations, and all of those things. But sometimes I figure there are certain aspects of a player's career that a coach just doesn't want to deal with or won't trust. And I do wonder about somebody that's been at so many different high schools, 3 different schools in 3 years. But Matt, the great equalizer there is, if you can put the ball in the hole, they're going to be interested in you.
Yeah, you want to talk with whoever his guardian is, if it's both his parents, if it's his grandma, I don't know what his home situation is, and kind of get a feel for that. There's plenty of coaches to talk to right there. I mean, you pick up a phone, you called the last program he was at, all these coaches are kind of connected that way. It sounds like he's just a 1099 business trip type of guy. I bet he was getting something who knows, but it sounds like he was getting, offers in high school if you're jumping. So it sounds like it's a business move 100%. But yeah, you put out you talk and you try to figure out what type of locker room guy is he coming in, because it's hard sometimes to. I just, each time you go into a different locker room, it's tough, but now I say it's tough. It's just different. You kind of, you got to be yourself. You got to be authentic, and you get found out real quick is what I'm saying. And so he should know how to navigate that. If you've been in 7 different locker rooms in 7 different years, because you don't want to bring a bad seed in.
And I don't think Auburn was. I was looking at my list of that website that I'd brought up recently in terms of where the revenue share dollars are going to be divvied up, and there's 16 schools in the SEC. The estimates from the NCAA website was just 6 of them. Auburn's not one of them. But this is where you can sort of look at the percentages and say this is how this school defines themselves in terms of what sport are you going to maybe specialize in, right? So Georgia puts 85% of their dollars towards football, and everything else is way below the median of the rest of the league. LSU, 81% into football, but they've got the big-time baseball program. They're putting 5.3% into baseball. Ole Miss, they're identifying with baseball, 8.2%. I don't know what Auburn is putting into football compared to basketball, but when I still identify Auburn, Matt, as a football school, but it's been a while since they've been to the level where if you're going to be a football school, then you're going to be competing for league championships. You're going to compete for going to the playoff, and Auburn's been to national title games twice in the last and has a national title, in the last 15 years. But I don't identify them that anymore. And to me, Auburn is a men's basketball school first and foremost. So I would be interested to see what the dollar figures are, the percentage of that revenue share that they're giving to basketball. Because Arkansas is giving 20%. That's going to be on the high end in the SEC. I figure Auburn's got to be pretty close to that as well.
You're probably right, but no question Arkansas is a basketball school. I think we talked about this last year, and we've kind of slowly went that way, or maybe we've always been a basketball school and just didn't know it. But if you look at Arkansas over the last 5 years, man, and baseball too. But I'm talking about basketball and football. Obviously, we're a baseball school, but Arkansas is a basketball school, 100%. No way to however you cut it up.
73% of the money will go to football, 20% to men's basketball, 0.4% to women's basketball, 5.7% to baseball. They'll be the only 4 teams that are getting any revenue from the revenue share, not just at Arkansas, but pretty much the entire SEC and just about all the Power 4. But you think of Power 4 and the Big Ten, there are a lot more sports that they sponsor. Big Ten schools like Michigan and Ohio State are giant athletic departments, and a school like Michigan, they may put a little bit into baseball, but you know what means something up there? And you all know I've brought it up. My brother-in-law is the athletic director at Western Michigan University. They've made the Frozen Four. Hockey means something up there. Hockey means something to a lot of those Big Ten schools. And so they'll throw some of that revenue share into hockey. But I think at some point there's going to be a reduction in sports. in SEC programs. But if you look at SEC programs, some of them only are sponsoring, like 17, 18 sports, and you got a Michigan and Ohio State, a school like Stanford, that are sponsoring over 35 teams. And I just don't know if the money is there for all of those teams to continue to exist. This is what they've been talking about, Matt. I think it's some of those. It won't happen here.
Well,
I don't
what
think
about
it'll
track?
happen here at Arkansas or SEC. That's what I was going to hit on.
Okay.
But I think there'll be track programs that disappear across the country just because there's not money for it.
Because I would equate that as far as when you're going up north, you're talking about hockey. Then I would say down here, and because A&M has a good track program, LSU has a good so we're not giving anything, or I say they aren't giving anything to the track. There are only those 4 programs that you mentioned are getting part of the revenue.
That's the only ones. I don't know what kind of money track brings in.
Something, yeah.
I just don't know. I think part of it has to be tied, if not part of it, all of it has to be tied to what revenue are you bringing in. So if women's basketball is getting part of the money here, then some of that revenue isn't just about ticket sales. It's about television revenue because they'll put those games on SEC Network, ESPN, and so you get money from that. With track, they're not putting those meets on. I mean, they're being streamed. That's not the same as going onto a commercial-fed linear network. And so I think that's why women's basketball just must be bringing more money in just in terms of revenue than track does. But football still is going to be the thing that feeds the beast at Arkansas and everywhere else. And then you've got your donors on the other aspect. Like if there was not a Johnny Tyson and a Warren Stevens, and I know Cal pointed out Jerry Jones too. So, I mean, they help fund through the NIL aspect. Without that, would Arkansas be putting an estimated 20% into men's basketball? So, I mean, it's funding from 2 different avenues here. It's funding from the university, from the athletic department. Some of that might be money coming from the donors too. But if you want to be a basketball school, you've got 3 people that are leading the charge in terms of just funding the money. They're going to players that are, making it look like, yes, we want this to be a basketball school, while they're funding football at the same time, but really putting a big foot forward for men's basketball compared to the rest of the programs in the SEC and the rest of the programs in the country. And when you make the Sweet 16 and generate all the excitement that's generated, you just can't help but think, what if you end up, because if Arkansas does make it to a college football playoff, they'll be a Cinderella. The excitement you feel around basketball right now, and if they would have won and made it to an Elite 8 and gone to the Final Four, what would that feel like in a college football playoff environment? Even if it's you make a first-round game and lose it, even if you just make the playoff. Because you can't help but dream about it.
It puts you on the map.
Sooner or later, they'll be in a position, I feel. I don't know when it'll happen, but it's just like law of averages. They'll be in a position where late in the season, they're in the conversation for getting one of the bids.
You got to quit losing your best players to in conference schools.
Well, there you go.
When we got to clear that hurdle before I think we can worry about making I mean, you're not going to make the college football playoff if you're losing 7. What do we lose? 25 guys, but we lost 7, 8 guys that are dudes that can go.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss in and of itself.
That's just that kind of makes it. It just like what that kind of makes it hurt a little bit more too.
It does. It's a kind of a legacy at the moment too. Unfortunately, not the kind of legacy we were talking about earlier, which is former great Razorbacks who have kids that are Razorbacks as well. John Daly, there's a legacy for you that came in. Billy Ray Smith Jr., Billy Ray Smith Sr., another one. I forget Scotty Thurman's son's name, but he was a wide receiver for the Hogs for a year or two. Corey in the 479 says that Jerry Jones's grandson was a legacy. As I remember, Frank's grandson. I can't remember his name, but I called the game that he got an at-bat in, and it may have been the only at-bat he had for the year. But he was also on the baseball team too. So it's just a few of those right there. Were any of the top of your mind there? Because I can't think of any.
No, I was agreeing. That was
okay. All right, we're going to break here. Brett Dolan coming up in a moment. Want to remind you about Swift's Jewelry in the downtown Fayetteville Square, the place to go. Love is in the air these days. Thinking of popping the question? Got a special person in your life celebrating an anniversary? You just want to treat yourself? Swift's Jewelry is the place to go. They're right next to Hugo's. Been a trusted name since 1956, located at 27 North Block Avenue. Swift's Jewelry is known for stunning custom designs, specializing in wedding and engagement rings that are as unique as your love story. Also, you have it covered with watch repairs. Expert service keeps you ticking on time. Swift's Jewelry has a dazzling selection. You can always stop by their location on the town square, and they'll walk you right through it, or you can go onto their website at swiftsjewelry.com. Swift's Jewelry is where timeless elegance and exceptional craftsmanship come together in the heart of Fayetteville. Brett Dolan joining halftime in just a moment.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
You know what? Let's go watch. You and me, let's go watch the game.
Let's don't.
Come on, man.
I declared us friends. Let's not push
I'll
things.
tell you what. I'll have a car service pick you up. I'll get you a pitcher of beer. You can have some of it, and then I'll have the car service take you home.
How long do I have to stay?
3 innings, 4 innings.
Nah.
Listen to the Chuck and Bo Show weekday mornings on ESPN Arkansas and on the Hit That Line app.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as
Thanks
you
for
and me.
watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, the saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Hey, Northwest Arkansas, we're the Lewis brothers here from Lewis Automotive. We've got some exciting news to share with you today. As you know, during the month of March was our ultimate challenge, and we got some big news.
Absolutely. During the month of March, we set a huge goal of cars that we needed to sell, and we're here to let you know that we not only hit that goal, we exceeded that goal. So we just want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you to our employees. Thank you for the families for supporting them during this month. And thank you to the customer for not only buying, but for selling us your vehicle as well.
Thanks for watching.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center.
we dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Headed over to our Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and Brett Dolan is with us as usual on a Thursday, and we'll start with our usual question, which is, Brett Dolan, where in the world are you today?
Well, I'm here at Bud Walton today. I'm leaving for Buffalo tomorrow, and I hope to get back for what is some portion of a baseball series on Sunday, but I think we're both kind of wondering what that's going to look like between Friday and Saturday and Sunday. But Friday is supposed to be a linear telecast, so that takes us out of the equation, and Saturday, who knows? So it's going to be a fun few days of travel in Mother Nature.
What's going on in Buffalo, New York to take you away?
Well, I have the WNIT every year, and it's kind of our box of chocolates. We sit around late on a Wednesday night not having any clue where we're going, and then we wait for the semifinals and whatnot. So I thought I was going to Illinois State at about 9 o'clock, and about 9:15 I found out I was going to Buffalo. So away we go. Maybe I'll take in a little Niagara Falls tomorrow, some basketball on Saturday, and very little sleep on Sunday to get back for, I hope, a couple of baseball games, but we'll see.
Give me thoughts on the Final Four. 4 number 1 seeds that make it there. SEC on one side. Everybody's picking, for the most part, it seems like everybody's picking Duke versus Florida, and then take it from there. How do you see it?
I think that's a pretty good pick. I think, obviously, with the Broom injury, that changes things a little bit. I had Houston at the very beginning winning the national championship. I probably am not allowed to come off that. I think Duke has impressed me a lot more than I thought they would. I kind of had an anti-ACC bias, but the more I watch them, it's not just offensively, or it's not just a handful of players that'll play in the NBA at the next level. They play defense, too. And Houston really tries to get down in the mud with you and wrestle you around and win kind of an ugly game. Duke can play good defense and play a little prettier. So I don't know if I had another choice to pick it again, whether I might take Duke. I don't want to say that the winner of that game will have a great chance of winning the national championship, because obviously you got 2 number 1 seeds on the other end. The more I get into this Ken Pom efficiency thing, though, Phil, the more I'm intrigued, because they look at the efficiency rankings and whatnot, and a certain number like 35-ish is pretty rare territory. All 4 teams are kind of in that rare territory, which kind of speaks to 4 number 1 seeds, but Florida's not quite as efficient numbers-wise as the rest. So I don't know if that's where people get by thinking that the winner of this Duke-Houston game is going to have a pretty good chance of maybe winning the title.
Yeah, a few years back, that's because I'm with you. That Duke-Houston game, it's going to be the late game. It's gonna be a heavyweight fight. I think Florida does have a puncher's chance in the national championship game, because you're preparing for it. You're not really preparing for that game yet. We'll see how it goes. I think if Auburn gets there, I would like either Houston or Duke. But that's going to be an absolute battle, and Florida can put up 100 on anybody. I wouldn't have Florida favored over them, but they might have an easier test with Auburn. They might be a little fresher going in there, and they could jump out on you.
I think you're right. I guess getting back to Florida, Matt, there's two things that jump out at me, and they run counter to each other, which runs into my confusion. They can score and they can win games in different ways, which is impressive. The flip side of that is they turn the ball over at times with stupidity. I mean, they went through a couple of stretches in their games. I'm like, if they play like this for a longer stretch than 7-8 minutes, I don't know if they can outscore their way out of their mistakes. Now, they can score, which would be a fun matchup, I think, with Florida and either of those two teams, whether it's Houston or whether it's Duke, because you kind of have defense on one side of the bracket and offense potentially there on the other.
What's your thoughts on a guy leaving Texas A&M, Buzz, going to Maryland? And a lot of talk on, or is it a step down, SEC to, I guess, what are they in, the Big Ten now, or the ACC West?
Big Ten.
I forget what Maryland's in. I think of Maryland as a basketball school. I think Maryland even a better basketball school than A&M 100%. Now, yeah. I know it's a different landscape with the money or NIL, which you can use. How do you think it works out for Buzz?
No, I think it's a better job. I really do, and I know we kind of live in the SEC world, but exactly the way you phrased it, Matt, Maryland is a basketball school. They had a football game late in the year when my Hawkeyes rolled in there, and I'm watching it on TV, and I'm like, are there 10,000 people in the stands? I know it was a brutally cold day, but, you know, in Michigan, if it's brutally cold, there's still going to be 100,000 there for a football game. It is a basketball school. It's a basketball school that I think can be at a Sweet 16, Elite 8 type program, which is kind of where they were this year. I don't know if A&M has that capability. So even though it is the SEC and we know Texas A&M has a lot of money, I do think it's a little better job. And I guess maybe part of the reason why is we heard Nate Oates' name kind of floated for about a day on whether he might actually leave Alabama because of the same thing, kind of going from a football school to a basketball school. But we'll see how it plays out with Texas A&M. I think Arkansas hoping that they can continue to kind of move up the pecking order, so to speak, and kind of separate themselves and leave some of these non-traditional basketball schools in a different tier.
Well, so Maryland going over to the Big Ten, it's not the same basketball program they were in the ACC. Understand they still want to be a basketball school, but if you're in the Big Ten, you've got to pay attention to football in a way that Maryland probably didn't think about in the ACC. That being said, the whole thing of the lead up to Willard leaving Maryland was just wild. And some of the things that he said publicly, he basically announced to the athletic directors a departure for SMU in a press conference where he wasn't even there to talk about anything like that. But so so Buzz is leaving the SEC from a school that identifies obviously as a football school, but has tons of money. He's going to a school in Maryland where the coach left because he didn't want to have a football team that competes against them, and that's what that's about. You go to Villanova. Now we're talking about a whole different thing, and the Big East stands apart from every other league in college basketball on how they're going to fund their basketball teams, and they don't have to compete with football. Even UConn.
No, they don't. You're right,
UConn
Bill.
doesn't really have to compete with football.
No, you're right. They don't have to compete, but they don't have the football revenues either, which I think we still know football funds darn near everything. So you have the ability then, without paying football players, to pay your basketball players more, but you've still got to come up with this money. And Villanova is a national championship type program. They don't play in the biggest arena. You can't sell more tickets. So I'm still kind of a little curious on that. I wonder if part of the frustration, though, is being in a basketball league, you feel like decisions are made to benefit basketball. We know in that Big Ten, the decisions were benefiting football because how many coaches did we see complaining about the West Coast to East Coast road trips and bouncing back and forth? I think I read UCLA women's basketball traveled 35,000 miles this year. making maybe 3 trips to the East Coast. That seems absurd. Stanford softball just went on an 11-day road trip. Nebraska baseball went on an 11-day California road trip. The SEC can't freaking figure out how to play a game on Monday when it's going to be 65 degrees and sunny and teams are busing 4 hours back and forth because we have these rules in place that don't make any sense. But on the other extreme, we got teams traveling for darn near 2 weeks. So I think that's part of the frustration that maybe some of these Big Ten coaches have, whether they're East Coast or West Coast, because of all the demands it takes to try and be competitive, because we know you can't be at your best when you're going back and forth across the country on a regular basis.
So I brought up earlier, I don't know if you probably saw this, Carly Keats went into the transfer portal from women's basketball. Eugenia is in the portal. Carly Johnson is in the portal. I might be missing out on a couple of others that have gone in there too. And today, commitment coming from Wyvette Mayberry, point guard at Tulsa and then Kansas. And now I see that Talia Jones, who was Oral Roberts' leading scorer last year at 18 points a game and scored 23 against the Razorbacks at Bud Walton Arena, has also gone into the portal. So, I mean, it only makes sense for somebody that ran Coach Music's offense at ORU to maybe do the same thing at Arkansas, right?
Yes, and I think we can expect a little bit of that. The funny thing you mentioned about Mayberry, Phil, I walked into Bud Walton, and I was coming up to the front doors, and I could see through the glass where the fans walk in, and I'm like, that's Lee Mayberry. And, he's got that unmistakable look and that beard, and no, it was Lee, and there was a reason why he was there yesterday, because his daughter was doing the photo shoot, and I think I saw her play in Kansas for the WNIT, what would have been 2 years ago, and this crazy weekend that I'm bouncing around. And I'm not sure how many stops she's had, but I know she's probably happy to have a chance to finish here, and I think there will be more coming. The tough part is when you're having players go in the portal, sometimes it's the ones you don't want to leave that go in the portal, and it's the ones that stay who probably are those that are unsure if they can get other opportunities. So there's a lot of work ahead for Kelsey, and I know she's got a lot of visits and whatnot scheduled here over the next week.
Brett, I'm not going to ask you if we're going to play baseball this weekend, because I know at some point we will. But you got to get the games in, and that's the thing that I guess I'm most worried about, because I've done almost this 11 years calling Razorback games. I think I can only remember one series that they didn't get the full thing in. It might have been 2. I think one at Tennessee, and I think I saw one at Kentucky where they got in the 2 series, or the 2 games instead of 3. Like, mostly, even on weekends where it doesn't ever look like you have a window to play, they find windows to play games.
Right, and I hope they do. Now, Dave's press conference earlier this morning, he kind of says what he wants to say without exactly pinpointing it, but, if they can only get one game in on Friday or Saturday, it looks like maybe a doubleheader at, I don't know, he said noon on Sunday. Now, those are 2 7-inning games, so you have to kind of bend what you'd prefer to do. Again, Monday looks fine. These teams can bus back and forth. I don't know why we're stuck on this rule. Phil or Dave was asked that about from some of the media members. We have teams traveling in the middle of finals week for multiple days. We have teams not going to class for multiple weeks at a time. I don't know what a Monday game would have to do with it when it comes into getting this series in play. Neither team is flying or chartering. But I hope you're right. I hope there's an opportunity. I don't know if maybe that would be Saturday and then they can play 2. Arkansas doesn't want to lose these games for any reason, not only because they're playing well, they're playing a team that they probably should be able to handle, but you look at the standings the other day, and Arkansas is 8-1. You're feeling pretty good about where they're at. You can't help but do it, and there's 3 other teams that are 8-1. So, you don't want to lose out on opportunities to play games at home against teams that you're ahead of in the standings. So I hope they can figure it out. I hope there's a break either Friday or Saturday, and I'm hoping that we can at least play 2 on Sunday, if not Friday or Saturday.
Brett, safe travels to Buffalo. Hope everything goes well there. I'll pick I'll pick Buffalo in the championship game just because they're playing at home, and I see they're 17-2 in their home arena. And then we'll see you at Baum sometime this weekend between raindrops, okay?
How about this one? Those 2 teams started the season facing each other in Buffalo. So when does a team start a season and finish the season with the same one? So that's a little bit unique. But hope to see you Sunday, no doubt.
You got it. It's Brett Dolan with us here on Halftime, and you can do the same. Join us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline at 877-377-6963. Want to tell you about the Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, brought to you by Booyah. It doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates it. You choose from 3 blade options. Colorado for maximum thump. Make sure you pop that P at the end of it. Willow for bright flash. And the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma Blade. They're perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma Blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission, dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait. It's here for one thing. And so are we. It's the home stretch, and we're back after this.
Them and baseball players have the prettiest girlfriends. Baseball and golfers, they know how to get it done.
This is halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Hey, Ty Richardson, we're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Ethan, you guys have a massive event coming up May 2nd and May the 3rd.
We will have the Kawasaki Good Times demo truck here for Kawasaki demo rides, games, and prizes. Rollin' Smoke Barbecue food truck will also be here, and on that Friday, Ruskin and Zach will report live from the event. That is the Steel Horse Rally weekend. See our Facebook page for all the details and updates.
That's Wheeler Power Sports, 901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith. Keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
It's the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet at Golden Corral. Come in and enjoy the endless breakfast buffet with carved ham, tender pork chops, pancakes, French toast, made-to-order eggs and omelets, and, of course, the biscuits and gravy. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And from 8 to 9:30, seniors get all this plus a drink for only $8.99. Golden Corral, 1801 South Waldron, Fort Smith. Order online at goldencorral.com for curbside pickup or delivery. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was on fire. Where did you go? I couldn't doubt you. How could you not know? I was around with you. You brought it home. Was I being lied to? Wish I never met you. Starting to regret you. My heart just dropped.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
With all the tariff talk these days, anytime I hear the word tariff, I always think of this.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the
Anyone?
The Great Depression, passed the the tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which raised or lowered raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression.
So this is, you've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? See movie?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you know what that came from too, and so you remember all the looks on all the students' faces. They look like they're literally as a kid that has fallen asleep in this scene and wipes off the drool from his face. And then what was the best part of that whole scene was when it's describing the way that George Bush described what those would be. Anyone? Something DOO economics? I can't stop thinking about that scene today.
Seen Ben Stein in person before. Yeah.
Where'd you see him?
On campus up there, kind of where Lee Mayberry was up there.
No kidding.
So, yeah.
Was it an episode of Ben Stein's Money?
Well, it's not like I shook his hand or anything, but it was from me to unit to him. I was right there. Yeah, that close to him.
So I saw your
he
boy
looked exactly like he was in the movie too. Like he looked like he kind of had that. You could tell. You're like, yeah, you were made for that part.
That professorial sound and look, but very good acting. Very good acting. I saw your boy Paul Skeens was in a GQ article with the significant other. He was asked about it yesterday.
Hey, you're always well dressed, but we didn't know we were talking to a GQ model today. What's that all about?
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm gonna get some flack in the locker room. I know that. I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah, I didn't know what GQ was until the offer came. So glad I did it. I think. I mean, how'd I look? You guys think I look good? Yeah, sweet.
Livy and Rue look better, I think, but you did okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, that's what she does. So, yeah. It was fun. It was very fun. It was on the one day in like a million years that it snowed in Baton Rouge. So it kind of worked out perfectly. We got some sweet pictures, but that is not my sphere. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see if I do more of those. But
you probably wouldn't be doing any of those if Livy wasn't part of it. So I opened it up, and man, I mean, the two of them, they did this in Baton Rouge at the house that they share together, and it was the weekend it snowed all over the South, and so this just is very odd seeing snowy scenes from outside their house in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And here's the photo that his teammates are going to be giving him most of the problem for. This is a really funny looking photo. I don't know if they planned it that way, but it's in their kitchen. Skeens is sitting down at the kitchen table. He's wearing a pinstriped blue blazer with no shirt on underneath it. Livy is wearing her LSU gymnastics leotard, and Skeens is eating a bowl of Captain Crunch. Leaning over the bowl of Captain Crunch with Livy draped over his arm and over his shoulder, like she's not interested in the cereal at all, and has some designs on something going on in the camera there. This is the youngest it couple of sports right now, Matt.
Man, when's the last time you've read a GQ magazine? Man, when I would travel a lot more, and you'd show up to the airport and you'd get through security and everything, you'd kind of dive off into a news type of store, and I might pick one up, but that's 8, 9, 10 years ago since I've read a GQ magazine.
I don't even know if they print the thing any longer. Yeah, it's just a funny looking photo, and you read the story here, and it tells you how they met. They met. I love this part of it, Matt. They had gotten together with a group of friends and took a road trip to see a Morgan Wallen concert in Oxford, Mississippi. That's where the magic all started to happen. And, of course, every Morgan Wallen concert is magical, but this must have been the one that he actually performed instead of canceled. Because I remember this. He had canceled one of the 2 shows that he'd scheduled in Oxford and pissed off all the fans that had bought tickets for it. But I think Livy and Skeens actually went to a show together. So that's where they met. Maybe a reason to ignore them now.
That would be. I was trying to think of reasons why I would tend to Morgan Wallen concert.
Maybe to meet Livy Dunn. Would that be enough?
I don't know that I have enough reasons. Yeah,
if you get the right range and everything,
there's no reason to meet her. She's got a man.
I also would put Captain Crunch way down on my list of cereals to be eating on camera or off camera or the middle of the day or late in the day. Chris says it's the best cereal, and I put it. It hurts a little too much to eat that, so not my favorite choice. Looked like Skeens was all about it, though. But if Livy told him to eat a bowl of Captain Crunch because the photographer said so, you better do it. She knows more about that than he does. But he knows a little bit more about pitching, and then 7 innings, 3 hits, an unearned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts, and a 4-2 win. I'm sure his Pirates teammates won't be making fun of that because they don't win too many games, and he's going to win them some.
I went to the horse races a couple years ago with a buddy, and we got into the SUV, and it was 5 of us, 5 dudes. And, they get in there, he's talking about what music to listen to or whatever, and everybody's kind of talking, and I didn't really say much, and the driver's like, well, I got something. He goes, you know who Morgan Wallen is? And that's what we listened to the whole way down to the. I mean, you talk about the worst experience. It was like, really, this is what you decide. This is what you decide to listen to when you have all the music in the world to listen to. That's what you put. It's like we're starting on a very fundamental basis that we'll never be friends.
How quickly can you get out of a vehicle?
It might have been the worst one. It was not one of my favorite trips. That's for sure.
So I've heard Ty mention this. I heard Chuck and Bo mention it too because they were in San Francisco, and I'd seen one of these vehicles when women's basketball was in Los Angeles to play UCLA, and I saw one of the driverless taxis, these Waymo vehicles. It didn't sound like Chuck. Chuck would not get into one. Bo rode in one. I don't know if Ty got in it or not. I wouldn't trust it. Look at it on the other end. Are you going to trust a vehicle driven by Ty? Just look at it from that angle. Would you get in the driverless car, into the driverless taxi? I would. I would actually do it. I think I would like to trust that these things are maybe better than the human driver, maybe, but I'd be a little bit scared getting in with no driver there too. Would you do it?
I'm trying to think where. I don't know that I've ever been around one. I'm not all for this whole car drives itself or parks itself. I got eye-hand coordination. I trust myself more than I do a computer driving my car. It just doesn't compute with me. I got it until I'm not able to put it in manual, too close for missiles switching to guns. I'm not getting into with some artificial eye driving me around.
I have not ridden in any automated vehicle yet, but I would get in there. I didn't have a reason to take a taxi or an Uber or anything in Los Angeles.
If it's on a closed track like at Disney World, then there you go. But if you're just saying it's going to drive me places around, like with patrons and other cars, I'm not.
Greg in Alma says Fruity Pebbles always the best. I haven't bought a box of Fruity Pebbles in a long time. Every once in a while, some Fruit Loops. What do I have in there these days? we've got. I let my son buy the strawberry milkshake Frosted Flakes that turns the milk strawberry. It's okay, and Cookie Crisp, which Cookie Crisp is good, but it leaves a little bit of a sheen on the top of your mouth.
Same with Captain Crunch.
And Captain Crunch does too, but then you know how sometimes you'll bite into a Dorito and it'll get stuck in the roof of your mouth? Captain Crunch can do the same thing too, and it doesn't have any points to it, so how the heck does that happen? 877-377-6963, calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. You can get over to Andy's Frozen Custard if you're craving something sweet and delicious. Andy's has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. Thinking about a banana split? They've got a delicious one. Frozen custard, a whole banana covered with delicious strawberries, marshmallow cream, crushed nuts, and topped with a cherry. That's at all Andy's Frozen Custard locations in our listening audience: Conway, North Little Rock, and Fort Smith. Andy's Frozen Custard, walk up or drive through, ready to serve you. We're back to wrap up halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Wave Rural Connect is excited to introduce our new 300 megabit internet service. Perfect for streaming, remote work, and homework for just $64.95 a month. Get no worries, cyber-safe managed Wi-Fi for a total of $71.95. Order today at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. We're adding new services and expanding our areas for you. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the chicken chalupa supreme, and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. Participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
I can't get no satisfaction. Can't get no satisfaction if I try.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, wrapping things up here, reminding you about the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast. Has all the highlights of the show today, which includes our conversations with Dudley Dawson from Hogville, Bubba Carpenter, Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter, thanks to Sterling Bank and Brett Dolan. Anything else that C Podcast dreams up, throw there on the Eastside Liquor podcast. You can visit Eastside Liquor at 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Call 479-452-7311. Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a few moments. And tomorrow will be interesting. I mean, they'll make a decision tomorrow about the baseball game tomorrow. Not today. Won't be any sort of hints, any sort of updates, and any sort of decisions made today. But certainly by the time we get on the air tomorrow for halftime, we may have a much better idea as to what the plans are. Otherwise, you're not going to find anything else about it today. See, Matt, see here. We'll get into the NFL stuff tomorrow. It's just, you got your first transfer coming in for women's basketball, which is Yvette Mayberry, the legacy for Lee Mayberry's daughter. So there's the first one coming in. Looks like, I think it only makes perfect sense for Talia Jones to be a Razorback if she was the top scorer for Coach Music's team last year. The writing's right there on the wall. And, it's just, you're kind of waiting on the next shoe to drop for men's basketball. And, Matt, I mean, that can be anybody's mind to make up on what they think it's going to be. I just have a sense, I don't know if you're going to find out anything about what it'll look like for the rest of the weekend. Big Z gets into the portal. What is that? It's like 5 days after the season ends, and still waiting on any other decisions to be made. But I don't know what it's going to be.
You look at these guys and their NBA draft grade. I mean, those three guys. You think they're all going to go in the first round? I think they would behoove all three of them to come back and be an Arkansas Razorback.
Those being Adu and Boogie and Carter Knox.
Wagner.
Those, I think the three, and Wagner.
Talking about the guy Carter Knox. I mean, obviously he's not a first round draft pick this year. I mean, he's one of the top 20 players. That's the beauty of college basketball in the NIL right now.
Well, we can also kind of wait to see something from him or for Richmond about a run it back tweet.
I think Richmond already put that out there. What did he not?
I thought so
he did,
too.
Like the next day or something.
I hadn't seen anything reported. I thought I'd seen the same thing. It's just I hadn't seen anything reported on the websites that we might usually quote. But maybe maybe there'll be something about it tomorrow. I don't know. Otherwise, we've hit on just about everything. Yeah. And Ruskin and Zach coming up in a moment. Great to be with everybody today. We appreciate you listening and your calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Stay safe out there. I know it's supposed to be ugly pretty much for the rest of the day. May have some tornado watches as well. So I just plan on staying indoors, like many of you will if you can. Stay with Ruskin and Zach in just a few moments. And for Matt and Christian, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your day. Get up, get out, and get better.
At 810 Billiards and Bowling, we've got everything you need for a good time. Drink up, chow down, rack 'em up, and knock 'em down. In other words, be social. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 7. Catch the big game on our giant screens and check out the newly expanded arcade and mini golf. Oh, and don't forget to try the new double-decker burger. It's a game changer. Let the fun begin at 810 Billiards and Bowling, 5609 Rogers Avenue, Suite F in Fort Smith. See you there.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A particularly dangerous flooding situation setting up today through Sunday. We could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain. Some folks could see up to 15. So showers will increase and intent will be in the 60s today. Showers and storms with very heavy downpours tonight. We drop into the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair. To ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Dumps it underneath. Golden shot blocked by Brazil. Oof. Oof. Oof.